Okay, so we're going to start sich on the Sicha Tazria-HaChodesh chelik mit sein. So, some of the easiest way to do it is mit Masakim sein. Just garba kitzer, then stellt sich on etliche Nekudas, and then try and make a seder in was tut sich. So, the Nekuda, that says the Gufa Sicha, is azeh. As bei even klol is da zwei Anhagis. Das two Anhagis von der Eberste Anhage Nissim Anhage Tivis. Und dieselbe Sache ist in der Weg. Now, in jeder eine von sie, sein Anhage Nissim und sein Anhage Tivis, ist eigentlich da der Zweite. Why? So the Lashon is, weil es ist in Siv sein, das, was Nes und Teva sind, zwei besondere Anhagis, ist nur mit Zad Eres wie Gilui. Verstellen sich es in zwei Kappen. But, mit Zad Hiskalelus Atzmus, aber seinen Blick wohl und Gewul einig. Der Eisdruck von Schleimusse. Und kemaimer Yedua im Temer, sheyesh lekech Blick wohl, vein lekech Blick wohl, hat er machas Schleimusse. Und bei Pnimis, der Pnimis ist in Musger, der Eisdruck von Yecholti Yisbarach. So, because mitzad ha-shleimus und bepnimis mitzad ha-Hiskalelus is the two kavim are not two separate things. Memele haben wir beide Sachen. Der Fall darf man gefunden, sei in Teva dingen von Nes und sei in Nes dingen von Teva. Teitches us, where do you see in the union of Nes, Entschuldigung, in the union of Teva, the union of Nes, the union von Chazakim Kimi Baram. So you see dingen of Bligvul in the world of Teva. Where do you see in Nes the union of Teva? That man as Nissim on Bochurim Teva. Now, in each of these things is da epesai sofa in the arts. So when again das was se echt da the union von Bligvul von Nes in Teva, the union von Chazakim Kimi Baram. Is me meisi von der Are 43 in Are 43 as amitis Shoresh anitzche benivroim hurak metzmus izvach. So even though bepashtus, this is kilo the union of Bligvul, or like we would usually call Seviv, wie das gefindt sich in Teva, in Gvul, aber amitis union nimmt sich von metzmus izvach. Shal maile mekal union shal ervegilu. Yes, this must be Pashat Cheshbon, because the union of Leishanisi, Alibe de Emes, the Musik of Leishanisi cannot sein in Atzmus. Because is the fact that happened itself is a Shini. As nit moir, so the Emes and Musik of Leishanisi muss sein in von Atzmus. In other places, in Tavshim Emhei, so that this word the Rebbe has a lot. So the Rebbe says a little bit different, that in every union of muss sein a gewisse Ziel. So a Meile, das nicht stande von der zweite Sache. So Al-Koponim, in is nicht, it is not shaykhs to talk no shinui. The only place where there's really no shinui is in Atzmus. Und a Meile kommt es, als der Chazakim Kimi Baram nennt sich von Atzmus. Und again, die zweite Sache, Teva shebenes, the fact that Nissim am Lubashim beteva, sagt man noch ein Wort. That Alibe Demes, it's not only in Nissim, which are Lubashim beteva, it's also in the union of Nissim, which are Lamaylu Teva. Because the very fact that it's happening in Teva means that Teva has allowed him to come in. It does macht a harome in Teva. Noch mehr. It's Mesif in order, this is in order 55. V'yeshleimar, as das was an Nes is meir in Elam v'Teva, is nicht nor the Pshat, because Nes is so Bligvul, so he could reach anywhere, including Teva. Nor because the union of Nes hatten sich eiche the union von Gvul, hatten sich eiche the union von Teva. One of them is in Metzayin to the Maimer, to Hemshech Ein Beis, and this is Shavuos Toshin Dalet. Over there, there's a whole arichis how in the union of Gilui is echt dort in von Zimt. Maybe we'll come to it. It does is bekitz and nimrit the cheshbon from the Sicha. I verstehe that everyone learned it, so I'm not being meirig too much in the prat. So, Pashat sich ein bisschen reinzulassen in the Havonas Advarim, so lassen wir sich stellen, Pashat auf etliche Nekudis, saying these are not like major kashas, just like lechade des Amachshove, to help machen da Klarkeit, to come to explain what's these two Eifanim, Hayav Teva Shebenes and Nes Shebeteva, and then to see the different pratim, how the Rebbe sets up. So the first obvious question is, Pashat, wie man angefangen zu sein? It's etwas als geknippt und geflochten. He's going back and forth. Why is there in Teva Nes? Why is there in Nes Teva? Hebt on mitzad Hiskalelus atzmus. So it has to be one in. Then he says it's mitzad shleimusei. Und bepnimi is the Ausdruck von Yecholti Yisborach. So obviously, it's clear medav da onkommen to the inyan from Hiskalelus for this word that we're saying over here. He's not being mistapik with the inyan from Shleimus. So erstens favos. If it's true that there's a Hiskalelus mitzad Shleimus, is favos that man onkommen in Hiskalelus. On leidoch, if the word is Hiskalelus, so go straight there. Just say mitzad the inyan from Kel Yochel, mitzad Hiskalelus ha'atzmus, hat man beide Sachen. We are somehow working within, because it's also shleimus. So it's going back and forth. The shaila is pashat vazak minda. It's clear also that the maskone, wie sagt in Sif Ches, the lashon is, as even though these are two kavim hafrim, seinen ze bepnimis meyuched. Again, we're going back to the pnimis. So the pnimis heißt, dass der selbe pnimis, was man gerät früher von Hiskalelus, als mitzad der Hiskalelus of the meyuched, not mitzad shleimus. Noch a poshete kashe, ich kein kashe, just the poshete was retten mir. We're saying that mitzad ha'atzmus is beide Sachen sind. So the two things are not still. Say bazei is favos is lapayil when you talk teva shebenes, the nes is beis gabrus, and when you talk nes shebeteva, the teva is beis gabrus. It seems that we're not talking over here about the mitzad Hiskalelus atzmus that we have sagt in our 44 is mitzad nina ani nois. The two things are not still. They are somehow a still. Says if it wouldn't be a still, then you shouldn't have to have that you have one more than the other. Should be I'm sorry. When you have one thing more than the other, the taichi is that something gave in. Something gave way. And we manage to reinzuquetschen in the zweite. If it's true, as mitzad Hiskalelus ha'atzmus is beide, so zog beide. Apparently we're not talking over here mitzad Hiskalelus ha'atzmus. So tzirik. So wie ze arbeitet du? It's the Lom again in Ha'or 43. Say this word that amitis sheirish hanitzchis from the Nevroim is rak me'atzmusi Yisborach, because only there you have the emes musig of Leishanis. So l'cheire, nicht l'cheire, but pashtus. This inyan is a hisof from what we're talking till now. It says, bis jetzt hat man gerät, nicht mit Zadatschus. It's a sagt man, aber it's beneset to the fact that the pashtus, you have the inyan of nitzchis in the Nevroim, in Teva, hast du da etwas inyan von der Chibur Hafchim, und das ist mit Zad Ninani Neus, das ist mit Zad Atzmus, beneset man sehr, sollst du wissen, that is also a Lishanissi, which is mit Zad Atzmus. So, the pashtus. We were talking about Atzmus till now. Das ist eine neue Sache. noch mehr, if we want to mamish sharpen the inyanim. Harei afilu after we're talking as mitzad the Leisha Nisi, das is epis noch ha'inyan in Atzmus, which we're gaining more than when we're talking about standard regular Chibur Avchim of Nes Sheveteva and Teva Shevenes. Afilu lachri the Leisha Nisi, it's still not mamish Atzmus. V'haraya, chmei meret, das is doch the Chiddush von Yemei Mashiach. The Chiddush, I mean, you're Tavshan Lamed Ches, or Iberal, I mean, them is, that's that, and Niflois, that you're gonna have Beidem Eilis Mokam Echad without any Vitor, sign mitzad together of the thing. So kommt es Kilo nehmen, wir sagen da drei Sachen about that Atzmus gibt uns the Chibur Havchim und Atzmus geht uns geben der Ingen von Leisha Nisi und Atzmus geht uns geben Taki Gili Atzmus, das da rennen mit Flois in Yemei Mashiach. So, obviously, man darf da machen, das ist not Pilpulin, it's a Pshat. What's the difference between these three things? Danach ist der Apostel Klatzkasche. Man sagt da, als von wo nennt sich der Leisha Nisi, das nennt sich von Atzmus. That's where Chazak Kim Baram comes from. This is hepech from what it says everywhere. If you learn Hachetish Samachov, von wo nennt sich die Linie von Chazak Kim Baram? Because it's the Eira Kav. And the Kav is, because it's Chazav Heir, hatten sich eiche die Linie von Blikvul. So therefore, even though it's in Welt, which the Kav, this is the Indian von Eira Gvul, by even Kloli, im Kolzeh, somehow we smuggle in the Indian of Blikvul, the Indian of Chazak Kim Baram in the Teva. So that's like the normal sprach. Sagt man dann, no, that's not true. A liebe demes, amitis sheresh anitzches benivroim, is nicht von dem. So weiter. Obviously, they're both true. It says, where does Chazachim Kimi Baram come from? Das nennt sich von Erakav. That's the Pashtus. Dann legt da der Rebbe zu noch ein Wort, das amitis sheresh hanitzchius. Das says that we're not talking over here where it comes from. We're talking, it's sheresh. Eps amitis sheresh, just as shena zweite Sach. And that actually comes from relations. Is that when this needs Agdara, how these two things working together? Then there's another pasha to think. It's again, Mezuchen is there like to passion liberal. This is pasha to uptighten what's happening over here. We're saying over here that this is das was Leisha Nisi. That the union of Nitzrichs in the Nivroim, das nennt sich von Atzmus. Seiba sei, hab ich da mamisch Gili Atzmus. Das was so morgen in Nechem Yid zet, that it's Chazachim Kimi Baram, so the gar nicht gebeten, so the Gili of the Leisha Nisi. But im kol zeh, this is not a nes. This is all what we call the nes shebeteva. Aber a nes it doesn't. Why? What mile is in a nes over this? So there's common illusionis whenever the Rebbe moves from this word of the nitzchius in the nivroim to talking about the nes. So there's always but sof epis the nes. There's a Tovshin Memhei, the Rebbe said the Epsaloshin, as once Sephard, it's working within the Gedorim of Teva. Because what is this work within the Gedorim of Teva? So it touches because nor a Nes weist a Balabatischkeit of Teva. Chazachim Kimi Baram is working within the boundaries of Teva. L'chore nicht. The pastors, yeah. Without getting too complicated, but alle wissen, so this place says beferish the fact that this Chazachim Kimi Baram doesn't mean Sagili Aseviv, it's nothing to do with the Gedorim of Teva. It's Lamreis Teva. So somehow or another, this is not good enough. It's not as good as a Nes. Was ist der Pshat? Sometimes the Lashon, I think in Toshal Amadalov there was a Lashon, Asep sa yiridim yer panav yizbarach. I feel chach as is a in of bligvul, but it's fart working within Teva. So it's the same teichen, the Lashon nachir. It's fart sa yiridim. So the shaila is, what does that mean? In other words, what's the chisaron in the Vart of Adar 43, which there's still going to be a mile in this? How complicated to make things. We're confined in time. But let's just one more word. Right at the end of Hara 55, das man früher ausgerät, is mitzayin to lahoyer mi mamori chag hashvuos ein hey to the ein beis and shvuos tavshin dalet. This word as in the bligvul is dogvul. But I mean, on King Kashas, was will man da sagen? What's the hisof? What we were looking to gain with this yeshleimar as in the bligvul zech da dingen von gvul? Is lama oneben just with one akurze hakdame, just to be magdir that we tack on the same page, that we know we handle the selbe zach, and then we'll try and make a bisla seder in the pshat down this. Let's start from Gar Nidrik. Per Pashtus in Welt, if you say Teva and Nes, yeah, like Rebbe brings the Chacham Tzvi, there's no difference. Teva is Nissim Tchuf, meaning it's a misunderstanding. Se kommt kilo von a Chalishes in der Munne in der Eibishter, the fact that you nispol more from Nes than from Teva. Both of them the Eibishter makes. Alamai, what's the difference if the Eibishter makes that water should flow for 2 days, on the third day the Eibishter makes it stand? He could have done this, he could have done that. Both of them is the Eibishter making. Und das ist bepashtes the Pirush Hamilis von Misha Emer lechemitz v'yadlik, Emer lechemitz v'yadlik. It's a selbe Sache. Kommt Chassidus and argues strongly as a nishtazeh. Teva and Nes are two different inyonim alibedams. What says? The difference between Nes and Teva is not just the way I see it. Alibedems. There's over here we're talking about the Eir Aliki, which is Misyaches to them. And over here we're talking about the Eir Aliki versus Hecher from them. What says? Even Kloli in Shemes it's Havaya and Alikim, or there in Chassidus Sprach das ist Sefer von Mamal. He says there's a chelik kavyochel of the Eibishter, which in Yoni is that he's working with the Metzias of Welt, and then there is Vier Kumt Aretz Alim, the Pashtus. What's the difference between these two? So obviously, it's just a Pashat the Bavoranish. Seviv is not just the Taich that it's more than the Gedorim of Welt. Seviv is the Taich that is bad and believable. Yeah. This is a Taich, the Moshel, if a Rav gives a Talmud too much Seichel, so that does his chain Makif. I'm confused, but it's a Pnimi. We're talking about that the Eir is andere Eir. So it's two different Yachesen from the Eibishter to the Welt. Nochmer, it's not just that it's two different relationships, it's two names in the Eibishter. He says, if there wouldn't be a Welt, there would still be these two in Yon. Lifnei atzimtzum mit dort zwei Sachen. Lamai ladin ketzel lamata den tachlis, ich lahar, shlei lahar, wie man wird reden, the Loschen, but there's two in Yonim, alibedemes and alakus, bligvul and gvul. And these are alibedemes zwei Sachen. The fact, when the Eibishter is making Teva, the Taich making Teva is working within the Gedorim of Teva. Kommt is that the Eibishter is now being Messiaches, not here, it's only a certain Yachas from the Eibishter. He's being Megal a certain part of him. Und der Fall, But what's a Pashta Taich Teva? It's just now in the jetzt gedruckt, the Tzadik Gimel. It's in the Satel Recha, this shtickle also. What's the Taich Teva? Teva is the union of Tmidius, consistency. Anything that you see which is the same, which didn't change, is Teva. It says, Lamoshal, the Arbi say this in Loshen Chazal is called Arbot Tivi. What says Tivi? Why is it? Because it doesn't change. Because offer is offer and ish is ish. Why is that the gather of Teva in unsere Sprach? Because if the yachas of the Eibishter to something is behemshich to the way it was yesterday, is the taichi is that the Eibishter is recognizing its metzias. Why do you have to make offer today the same way it was yesterday? Mitzad the Beir is doch nicht mugbel. Elamai, he's working within the Gidrei HaMakab. So the consistency of Teva, das was is betmidus, that's what the Rebbe is magnet. Das is a Taich Teva, bringt raus, as the Eibishter arbeit mit dem. Noch a prat in Teva is that it's behelem. What's the Taich? As he's misalim in order to give an Nissim mocking for the thing. So the Taich Teva means that wie der Eibishter is misyach zu der Sach, das heißt, es era gvul in Elokus. Was ist der Taich? Nes. It's nicht nur the Taich is that the Eibishter was now megala something more than the Welt. So it's nicht the Taich, Lamoshal, if the air, the chayas of a medaber would go into a cat, so suddenly I would say that's a nes because it was too much. That's not a nes. That would make a mess and say to the Shtalshul, but it's not nes. And nes is nicht the Taichi, is that there's more than the Makabel could take. That would be like saying if a Talmud received too much air, so now there was air makif. Nicht makif. Das heißt nicht makif. And nes is the Taich as Sagili as-Seviv. Sagili from the Eibishter allein. And so this chiluk that we're making between Nes and Teva, between Seviv and Memale, sharpens both in Yonah. Size the Taich Teva is as a do as a chilik in the Eibishter was says Teva, Memele it's helped in Achtas Hashem. If we understand is that the Chayis Alikiva Sedo in Teva, das is Azach was living at Tzimtzum. It's not B'diavad, it's not a per se diluted part of the Eibishter, das ist the Eibishter allein. Und eich das was the Sedo the Blikvul in Teva, the Blikvul which comes down the Nes, it's the Blikvul allein. These are both in Yonim which are kind of living at Tzimtzum. And this is just Goren Kurzen, just to sharpen what we're discussing over here. Whenever we discuss that there's going to be a chibur of Nes and Teva, we're discussing a chibur of two tnuis, amitiyis, blig, vul, and gvul, wie sie sein in Lamayim. And this is where our Sicha begins. Now we're going to make up some kind of chibur or Hiskalelus between two tnuis which are be'etzem hafchi. Maybe lam das nor iberkai machen sicher. If I would say that the difference between Nes and Teva is circumstantial, is because of the Metzias of Welt, wie viel so what's the greatest chiddush as they treffen sich? Obviously, come on, the whole thing is because of the Keli, Ali B'Demis, it's the same thing. Aber wie bald das Redzer, wenn tu tnuas hofchi is Ali B'Demis, nothing to do with Welt. So we're saying that there's a chibur between Seviv Memale and Nochecher, between Yecholti Lahar and Yecholti Shlei Lahar and Lifnei Atzintz. Or let's use the words between Lamayla and Niketz Lamata Din Tachas, Bligvul and Gvul in Alakus. So the shaila is, how does this yichud happen? With the results being unsere cheshbon Teva shebenes and Nes shebetah. Is in our Sicha, there's two efanim. There's mitzad shleimus and there's mitzad yechelus. So, obviously what's going to have to be necessary over here is first to be magdir pasha the chiluk between these two things, and then to come back to see the difference between how they work in Hiskalelus. What's the difference in Hiskalelus mitzad shleimus and Hiskalelus mitzad yechelus? and then we're going to have to figure out in every prat in the Sicha, wegen welcher redt man da. And why this whole Sicha is going to be geboit on both of them together. So just to make sure that we halt noch mit, terwijl we haven't begun. All that happened is we asked a few confusing questions and a divrei akdame as mered wegen bligvul and gvul beetzen. Any questions? Pirches? No, all at once? Okay. Islam on even bepashas. What's the taich that you say that is shlemus? Meiche Teise, as in der Eibishter ist da zwei Sachen. Es ist da Chesed und es ist da Gevurah. Der Eibishter ist Poshet Betachlis. Was fällt ihm aus? So, ich sehe Cheshben, als Kshem sheyesh lecheles bilte balgvul, kach yesh lecheles bigvul sheim le'at mechas shlemus. Mitzad shlemus, you have to say he has both. Lass das reden ein bisschen mehr behaftschatte. Ich meine, der Eibishter ist doch Poshet. So why does he have to have any tziyur? So this is what's called sometimes the Terim Shlilim of the Rambam, as if you're going to say he doesn't have something, then you're being magdul. So I'm not really saying that he has this or he has that. What I'm saying is that ich kann nicht sagen, dass hat es nicht. I mean, Chassidus nimmt es noch mehr, that we even say Terim Chiyuvim. But what we're saying is that I can't say that he doesn't have this thing. Because it would be Akbal. It's wie is Eifen HaMetzias from this thing, which we're saying that the Eibishter also possesses. What does it look like? Obviously, it's not a taich that the Eibishter has also a inyan of Chesed or inyan of Gvurah. The Eibishter is a Sholem. Mitzad HaShleimus hat alt. But there's not going to be a real difference between the Chesed and the Gvurah, because both of them, it's really just an expression of Shleimus. Dort kommt der bewusste Wort. Rabbi Nachman always chazes von Rabbi, von Meshi Gorari bis Rebbe Simcha, was hat gehört von Chatsche oder von Rebbe Simcha, was kommt von noch Hecher or something like that. As Shem sheyesh le'yecheles v'bilti balgvul, kach yesh le'yecholti b'gvul is nicht the taich, ados ha'arayin os ha'agdor. What does that mean? We're not trying to prove that the Eibishter has Gvul. We're trying to describe the Eifen HaMetzias HaGvul. It's nicht the taich the Eibishter hat in sich Eichet Gvul. The Eibishter is bli Gvul. Hat Eichet Gvul. Wie zei zet is the Gvul? Sheim le'at mechas shleimus. Als a prat in shleimus. En mele, the Gvul is going to be was herzachon. If I'm going to hold on to the gvul, the only thing I'm going to see over here is an expression of shleimus. Ulefize. Gvul or bligvul, or if we're talking chesed or gvura, or the other zach was da in the Eibishter is be'etzem all expressions of one word. So because we've described the Eifen HaMetzias of gvul. Kommt es l'maskana. As be'etzem bleibt der Eibishter b'pshitas. So mitzad shleimusei hat alt. Das is alt wenn wir retten shleimus. Then there's another word called yichelis. This is skarbavi. This is bavus inyanim. I'm not. If anyone's expecting any like chiddush, this is not. We're just like going through the inyanim vi meret v'derech klal. This is like classic. Yeah. What's yichelis? Yichelis is coming from a totally different vantage point. I'm starting from somewhere else. Yichelis is the taich hazeh. Val is mechuyev hametzias. So mechuyev hametzias muss sein akel yoch. So Aloshan and Tavshin Gimel brings from Rabbi Nissim Goy as it must be that something which is a chai has to also be a yochel. And the chai be'etzim, that says the mechuyev mitzias, he has to also be a yochel. Why? Oh. So for this, let's just pause for a second. A bissel besser oiskayin, was the taich mechuyev mitzias. And then we'll understand why the gather of the mechuyev mitzias is machriach that is also a yochel. The Hagdara v'meret mechuyev mitzias in Chassidus, we say common expressions of it, is as is nicht kodmei aheder, or wie the Lashon is ein leitchil. He doesn't have a beginning. Kodmei aheder would mean that he has a psasibel lahayese. He doesn't have a tchila. He never wasn't. That's the Hagdar. L'payil. There's a lot of differences. So let's just pick a few just for clarity. In Metzias Nimtza, Weisman, Asedo, Etlach Hazachen. The first thing in Metzias Nimtza, every Metzias Nimtza is, as I can nicht sein. Efsher lahafside. A table he is, but he could also not be. And al derech is everything. Even if b'poil you can't, theoretically you could imagine a world without it. So in Ingeret it could not be. Noch a prat in Metzias Nimtza is that he needs that another should let him in. The table can't exist if the floor is not going to carry him. Some space is going to have to let you in. Or the concept of tish doesn't exist if there's no need for it. So every inyan that exists is because there was a necessity. So there's something which allows for it. He's totally an atzveiter. So he could not be, and he's totally an atzveiter. Und a dritte Lashon, was steht, is as in was besteht sein Metzias, the fact that he is mizbatet, the fact that he expresses himself.
Does that mean he's only there because he's needed? What does that mean? He's only there because he's
serving a person. In what are you at table? Because I need a service to put things on. I need that. So that's the gedank of table. If nobody would have any such a thing, then there's no teichen to table.
You'd just be a slab of wood,
right? So everything is because you are because that's the way the world is built. Everything is because of something else. So every mitzias nimtza, or even technically, you need that something's holding him up. Mechuyev mitzias has all these things he doesn't have. Mechuyev mitzias the taichis ich darf keinen nicht haben. Or let's start with the first one. It's impossible that I shouldn't be. Ich darf keinen nicht haben. Nobody's helping me be. And his mitzias is not totally on the fact that he expresses himself. Nicht das ist. All these things, these three things, is all yusod on one word. As a nicht kodmei aheder. Kodmei aheder means, because, let's just be magdir with the word kodmei aheder. Kodmei aheder means that be'etzim you're not supposed to be. So, you're based auf nicht sein. That's where we begin. So obviously you could be mafsid you. He himself doesn't even tiny that he's always supposed to be. There was even a time when he wasn't. So of course it's theoretically possible that he could become mois. So the kodmei aheder is the yesod of efshel afsid. Al derech zeh, das was me sagt that he needs somebody else to make him. What does he need someone else? You need a reason why you exist. Because be'etzim you don't exist. The kodmei aheder is not history. Even now, be'etzim you are zach which kodmei aheder. You're not supposed to be. And you constantly have to be telling me, in what way do you exist? Because there's a sibah. How did that come to be? Because of this. Under far, his hagdara is his expression. Because he's constantly fighting to exist. Mechuyev mitzias just is. Oisdrikin is the taich that the more gili you are, the more you're telling what you are, midem bistu. Mechuyev Metzias just this. Now, this word of Mechuyev Metzias, man hat bekitzer, was ist bekannte Sache. The word of Mechuyev Metzias is that it's be'etzem faran, it's not called me'ahed. Av dem sagt me, if I understand properly the inyan of Mechuyev Metzias, I'm going to have to say that is a kol yochid. Yeah. There's a I have time to read the ganze Stickel. Mishu hu chaye lami shelo yitamu shneisav I efshe shelo yeh yochid. So the Hiskalelus Atzmus is muchrich from our understanding of Mechuyev Metzias.
Muchrich from the fact that nothing could be mechazer him.
Yeah, but so what's the cheshbon? So this is let me machen the cheshbon a bissel besigne nach. So you do the Lashon Rambam as kulam tzrichim leiv when it tzarich lechad meh. That's a description of Mechuyev Metzias. So, fragt sich the Pashte Kashe, who in it tzarich lechad meh? Obviously. If not, then it wouldn't be Mechuyev Metzias. Es tali af hatzvei. But why do you have to have kulam tzrichim leiv? What's wrong with saying, I'm a atzmi, I am? How do you exist? Ach, weiß nicht. Someone else made you. I have no idea. Lass mich das fragen, besigne nachher. Could you have two Mechuyev Metzias?
No.
I'm atzmi, there's no reason for me to be. And is Metzias Atzmusi. Besigne nachher, why is Pare, was sagt, Ani asisi es atzmi, such a stire to the Eibishter, as you being ma'arer on the mitzvahs of the Eibishter. Say, Adar hat Yichudei Elohas, the Eibishter is Metzias in the ganze Welt, verstehe. Aber in the pashtus, the Eibishter is atzmi, but okay, so da, Gesundheit, what's a stire? So what's the Havon? You can't say that there's something which is not totally on the Eibishter because Eibazeh, the Eibishter is not Mechuyev Metzias. What's the touch Mechuyev Metzias? Mechuyev Metzias means that it's impossible for me not to be. If there's going to be a certain space in the world, a certain inyan, that over there darf nicht haben the Eibishter, say Bazei, it's possible for him not to be. Where? There. A pare also is atzmei. So the Eibishter is Metzias nimtza. Because a Bazei is nicht Mechuyev. Was sagst du dir? Sie können sagen, du bist nicht da. Ich will sagen, du bist nicht da. Da bist du nicht. So you have to say, again, when nicht da Yichudei Elohah, the Metzias from Welt is Alakus. You have to say as the Welt is totally on the Eibishter because it's Mechuyev Metzias. Because as soon as there's going to be a place which is independent on him, the place where the Eibishter is, it's for a reason. So that's already Metzias Nimtza. Cheshbon klebt. This is an important word.
And there's no reason for him not to be there too.
There's no reason. If it's possible for to be a space where I'm not needed, there's a space which is saying that I'm not muchrich. I'm not muchrich. So in other words, where I am, it's because of a reason, obviously. Because over there you didn't.
Which means there's a kaidam which is dictating where I should or shouldn't be.
Yeah. So kumtois memuz. So let's just make it clear. It's impossible there should be two Mechuyev Metzias. Because Mechuyev Metzias means that everything's dependent on him. This is a very important word. Man kann das verschärfen, if necessary. is going to be the taich why Mechuyev Metzias has to be Yochel. When I say as Atzmus must be Kil Yochel, the Havana is Pashut. Because if there's going to be something that I can't do, haste us that there's a certain space or there's a certain inyan which is not coming from me. That's ma'arer on me being mechuyev. Because I have to be the azah sort zach that there's nothing that it's impossible for me to not to be, and there can't be any inyan or any art where I don't exist. So this is the taich. Kulam tzirichem lei v'hoen etzorech lechad mehem. Why you have to have the word of kulam tzirichem lei, and that's the word why it has to be yochel. So if I'm going to have, could the Eibishter do a certain thing? Could he have chesed? Could he have gevurah? K'muvni. Because if not, then in the concept of chesed, it's not tali on him. It's not tzirichem lei. Okay. Is lesikum. Let's just come back to how we began. We started off over here that we're going to explore two things. So das Shleimus und das Yechidus. Shleimus is the taich as for was hat der Eibishter alle Sachen, because the Eibishter is a Shalom. He has to have everything. Im Leata Machas Shleimus. Yechidus Atzmus is coming from a different direction. Is Mechuyev Metzias. Mechuyev Metzias can't be that there should be something that's not that kennt das nicht tun. Now, that's the difference between Shleimus and Yechidus. What's the difference in the Eifan HaMetzias of Shleimus, of Chesed and Chochmah if we're going to say Shleimus? If we're going to say Chesed and Chochmah, if we're going to say Yechidus. Obvious. When you're going to say it in Shleimus, so each one is a separate word. Ich bin a Sholem. So da I must have it. If he's saying Kil Yochel, it's not, he doesn't have the different things. And it's Kil Yochel. Yecholti Lahar and Yecholti Shlei Lahar are not two different things. Kumta is that we're saying two different reasons why to have Gvul in Elikus. And Ebazeh, there's two different Ifani HaMetzias, wie the Gvul Zetos.
Was the set for Shlei? Was that was on Shlei?
Einmal man weiß, Mechuyev HaMetzias, muss ich sagen, Shleimus mit Zad Pshitis. Also kann ich sein Murkev. Das ist eine zweite Sache. Aber es ist eine Teizoi von dem. Wahrscheinlich in dem Red Kil Yochel, das ist Kilo de Mechuyev HaMetzias allein. Lass mich nicht sagen, wir können reden nach dem. Der Shleimus kommt, come on, soft, you can trace everything back. Aber das ist eine Teizoi. So now, wie seht euch in Hiskalelus? At Kan, we're just saying that there's two in Yonim, Shleimus and Yechidus. Now to come back to our Sugya, if I'm going to say that there's Nes in Teva, or Teva in Nes, mitzad HaShleimus, or if I'm going to say it's mitzad HaYechidus. Yeah, the Rebbe is bringing over here two in Yonim. So back and forth. So one Pashat in Afkamina will be as it. But what's the touch of Hiskalelus? Hiskalelus for Pashtus is, if you want Chesed to function properly, he has to have Gevurah. Oder beloschen wie das ist in der da 55, real Bligvul has to have Gevul. You can't have a proper functioning Bligvul if you don't have Gevul. Favos. I'm going to be mugbal. I'm not going to be able to come everywhere. So everything has to have from the other one to function properly. Ich kann nicht sein a gute Tate if I don't know how to take away a knife. It's a fallen chesed. So each one is going to borrow from the other one. That's the pashtus in Hiskalelus. Where does that come from? If both, what's the kayach for such a thing? It's Adar shleimus. Sei chesed, sei gvuris, and a beide between from shleimus, are the commercial, ayadua, zwei sorim, was stehen far melech. So that eise shalom emreimov, both of them would come from the same place. So memele chesed wird nehmen from gvur, and gvur wird nehmen from chesed. So why does chesed need gvur? Because I need to borrow from him to be mashlam ma'ini. How could I? Because we both come from the same place. Aber dort haben wir fragen nach bessere Kasche. Not how. Why? How you talking that there is such a musik bichlal, as in order to be a good chesed, I need gvur. It's a krume metzias. In order to be a proper functioning table, you have to be a bissel a chair. On the Indian is verkehrt for me. For me to be a proper me, I have to be not me. So what's the pshat? So auf dem steht, das nennt sich mitzad nefesh nezekeches. Das yichelis. Das nennt sich because alibe de'emes, all the keches are one. Mitzad hashleimus, each one is borrowing from the other, or finding the other, or using the other. Mitzad ha'atzmus, mitzad etzem ha'nefesh, all the keches are really one. And that's the reason why each keyach not only is taking from the other, but emes has the other and needs the other. So there's two questions over here. Why is this happening? I say chesed avon gvura in order to work. Why does chesed need gvura? Because be'etzem chesed is bepnimi also gvura. Why is it bepnimi also gvura? Because al libe de'emes b'shoresh mitzad nefesh yisekeches mitzad yicheles mitzad pshitas hanefesh, they are one. Das heißt also, mitzad shleimus, these are two things. Ich bin asholem defar hab ich chesed, ich bin asholem defar hab ich gvur. Mitzad yecheles, chesed and gvur sind doch ein Sach. Both of them is one kilyach. Memele, when chesed comes out and gvur comes out, each one of them has behel on the other. And that's the taich hitzi h mimayim yesh. This is beferish and echolzum in this cheshbon. That you have to say that the reason I take from the other is because ba'etzem b'shorshe I am one mitzad nefesh nezekeches. Kommt es azeh, l'sikum. When I'm saying Hiskalelus, I'm going to say as chesed nem from gvur und gvur Teva hat in sich Nes und Nes hat in sich Teva. Why do I say it? So I could say two different mahalchim. The pashut reason is because jeder Zach hat in sich eiche der andere Zach. Just like he says, bli gvul, hasn't it also gvul? Like he describes over there in Tofshin Dalet. It says the etzem inyan ha'eir, the inyan ha'gilui needs tzimtzum in order to be gilui. If not, I mean, the matar of gilui is to ankumen ergitz. If the Rav is not going to have tzimtzum, he won't be able to be a proper megal. Nishnor das, built into the eifen ha'gilui is already kavanas ha'tzimtzum. V'haraya, as the eir is in the eifen, that you could be mitzamtzim it. Nicht megale alle inyanim shebe'atzmus, says as Aloshin. Because mitzad alle inyanim shebe'atzmus, maybe they wouldn't be possible to be mitzamtzim. So the fact that Rafael happens silik eir agod lalatzad is because ali b'de'em is the eir melechat chilis eifen ha'is pashtus is an azar sort eifen that was the plan for tzimtzum. That's the way he works. So al kaponim via ze arbet the eifen of Hiskalelus, because ali b'de'em is ich muss ankommen zu der Zweiter, und ali b'de'em is ich habe ich der Zweiter. Why do I also have the other? That's mitzad yichelos ha'atzmus. So if I'm going to ask a pashta question, the poem Nissim b'chol yen, I see a person doing his Hiskalelus, a tat neemt weg a messer von a kind. What's at play over here? Is this coming with such shleimus or nefesh? Is it coming with tzadichelus? So obviously it's mitzat shleimus. Chesed feels that in order for me to work, I have to have gvura. I have to be keilu the other. Im loy mechase shleimusi. Why he feels that? That's because alibe de'emes, it's mitzat ichelus ha'atzmus, which is what made bichlal that chesed need gvura. So what's happening is shleimus. Why is that happening is mitzat ichelus. Cheshman is pashut. Ja? Und das ist doch, was steht. The pnimius is mitzad yichelis. Where's the lashon over here? Siv zayin. Mitzad yichelis atzmus chesed Teva has nes and nes has Teva. But where Lepayil, we're talking over here in Shleimus. Lepayil, we're talking over here in a gewisse gilui of Teva, a gewisse gilui of Nes. So it's an even mitzat erchatz shlemusi. Bipnimius, it's the oizdruk. It's coming mikayach yechelis. This yisod is in the Rebbe's Torah Iberal, yeah, that everything be'etzem needs the other because it's coming mitzad yechelis. We're just watching now in Yeshiva, Purim Kotem and Vav. Middle Zog the Rebbe as Avard from a cotton, the difference between cotton and Godel. As jeder Dover cotton muss sein as in Be'inim Mesuyim is a Godel. It can't be that there should be one thing in the Bria which is not Mashpia, was alle Nivroim davon ankommen zu einem Linien sein. So there must be a hero from Purim Kotem. Favossi das also. Because Kol Ma Shebara HaKadosh Baruch Hu Libro Ele Lechved. Jeder Inyan is giving its specific covenant. Heißt es, jeder Zach hat a gewisse Inyan that in that prat everything else needs him. Because really it's killed. There's a achdus in the whole bri. Okay. Let's just be misakim over here. I think the question was, will the nefesh function in a way as Hiskalelus? There's kilo nema, an expression of that. This is a gilui atzmus. Und das ist der Wort von Leishanisi. This is what we're adding in Ara 43. In Chazokim kimi baram zeich mechuyev ha-metzias alein. Oder the lashon is amitis ha-metzias wie the lashon ha-aked. Bazei, aber bleibt aber schwer. Es hat man gefunden in der Brie, nicht nur Nes shebe Teva, Teva shebe Nes, which is Sachakil, Bipnimi is coming from Yechelis Atzmus. Ma haben da, mamisch, kilo a biti von Atzmus, Leishanisi. Ich weiß der Meile von Yemez Mashiach. So, L'chure darf man sagen also. Sof, this Leishanisi is coming out in a certain age. It's coming out in a eifen that is being megala Leishanisi. What's this age? L'peil, it's Mikeich HaSefer. Adar via Zog, it's coming through the kaf. How is this Teva in a even this Tzva Shomayim Chazokim Kimi Baram Vi Idos, because it's Mikeich HaSeviv and Mitzad HaKav Ken HaHoben in sich Eiche Dingen from Blikvul. It's an expression of Leishanis. Expression by definition is Sheni Shtatzmus. Sie kilo neymar schreit Leishanisi. Geh zogen Leishanisi. As soon as you're being megala Leishanisi, so it's moving, it's still mitzad atzmus. Yeah, it's like al derech yad naam bas gar nicht auf base. The emse inyan of Leishanisi cannot sein in atzmus, but go forget that. Is trokt a inyan which is in letchila. Aber wenn sagt in der Tchila, sagt das. So it's already coming, bepashtus. You see an expression of Leshanisi. If you look at the world, you can see it's impressive at the tzel dinyan for Leshanisi. As soon as you say that, so you've already brought into a certain air. Ebs a gewisse kav, das shenageret. A kav, that one of them is going to be Beis Gabus. Is bedakus, I'm going to have the same word over here. This is going to be called Nes Shebeteva. Vosi das it Teva. Wie der Rebbe's Loshne given, it's still mugbel lefi is lefi eifen ateva. So yiridim erpanf. It's the way the Indian of Leshanisi is araga kumen in a gewisse Ziel. Masha enkin anes. It beweist a full balabatischkeit. So soft is going to be a chisaron, a built-in chisaron over here. The fact that he's expressing Leshanisi. Mesa Mashiach is a zweite Sache. A dritte Sache. Mesa Mashiach is a taich there's going to be Atzmus Alein. Over here we're going to be able to have, like in Yeshiva, in the matzav of Yeshiva, if I would be able to climb somehow or another into Etzem HaNefesh, into Kel Yochel Alein, is dorten Chesed und Gvura zwei Sachen, is Gvul und Blikvul zwei Sachen? Over there it's not just going to be as Yeshiva is being geirem that each one should also be kailul the other. Dorten is the taich as a takein zach. Only in Yemesa Mashiach wird welch treffen der Zach allein. Mitzad kil yoch. The beauty for this is Mokim or an enemy namid. Dorten steht das ist Gilei Atzmus Mamsh. Was ist das Mokim or an enemy namid? Es ist ein Taichi ist that es ist do etwas Amida and the enemy midah is breaking it. Es ein Nes was brecht durch Teva. The midah and the enemy midah is in the Zalbar. The din is as a muzan amasayim v'chetzi yorke. So if the enemy midah is breaking it, so it's v'ert amasayim v'chetzi. So it has to be as the midah and the enemy midah is in the Zalbar Zach. Der Wort can nor sein mitzad Atzmus. Mitzad Yechelus allein. Or with the Lashon is HaCheshech Atzmei Yoy. So all the different Eifanim that we're talking over here is Ich nem Cheshech und Ich leg arein the Baleicht the Cheshech Zahib the move it's using him Mikeach HaCheshech HaMegal all the different Yon. HaCheshech Atzmei Yoy it could only come from a place where Cheshech HaNeir is nicht zwei Sachen. Das ist Yemesa Mashiach wo es ein Sach Yechelus ist bin Nisgal. So Mokim Ra'arim in Amida, es steht, es ist Merfen, das ist die Sache allein, das ist Atzmus allein. That's the... Because one is not Beis Gabrus. It's a Pashta Chesm. If you have to say that one is not Beis Gabrus, then that could only come Mitzad Yechelus allein. Und das muss man sagen.
That's a Chesm. A Chesm is a bitter.
So, okay, so if the krichen in them guf, it's mechalik zan, okay? So you're going to be mechalik. But it's not the same thing as the shanis. And it's for sure not the same thing as the Hiskalelus, wo eine nimmt von der Zweiter, and it's just mikeach atzmus. It's lesiku. Lassen wir nur machen klar, what just happened over here. Wir haben da am Mahalich, that there's a nes shebeteva and there's a teva shebenes. Chazachim ki mibaram is the nes was da in Teva. The al derech zeh is da in nes is eiche da in von Teva was it Nissim am lubashim et Teva. So what we were struggling with is at the beginning we mishtalt avek, is this coming from Shleimus or is it coming from Yechelus? And in Havana it would mean a very different thing. Sachake was man da heint zum Abend getan is as there's a difference between Shleimus and Yechelus. Alibedems. Shleimus means that everything I'm kailul the inyan, ich trag der Zach because it has a certain value which if I don't have it I'm not shalim. Yechelus means from a totally different perspective. So it can't be that there should be something I can't do. The nafkamini is as David is zayin tzvei inyanim, and over here all the things are going to be one. You can't say this. Yicholti lo, yicholti shleiro. It's not two things. It's one thing. It's kil yochel. It's ein zach. In Yechilis it's one. If it's two kavim, so even though mikayach hayechilis, it's going to be mashpia that the two kavim are going to need each other, it's still going to be an eifin of shleimus. Bipnimis it's mitzad yechilis. So there's going to be Nes Trok Teva, Teva Trok Nes, and one is Beis Gablus, and we're never krich out. Then noch da hechere Sach, there's a bitui of Mechuyev Metzias Alein, of Leisha Nissim. Aber sof als is a bitui, I'm still going to call it Be'etzem Teva. Elamai, it's the Nes Vidos in the Welt von Teva. Mashe Einkin as Meret. Yemesa Mashiach, this is in Tachshalam Tchet, that is Ibrahim. Whenever we come as the zwei Sachen, and we're not being mevater on either of them, in Pasach Eliyahu, what we're saying over here is, it's mitzad kil yochel, idos ein Zach, and that goof is being nizgale in Yemesa Mashiach, and the fact, I'm going to be able to have alle Meiles, the Meile of Teva and the Meile of Nes, Arenu Niflois in the Zalbot.